if you don't listen to no other episodes, if you don't see nothing else, man, I want you to have these 3 things. And I wrote them down because, again, I said I don't want to cry. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Dads on Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ashford, and this show is all about helping dads be the best versions of themselves. And this show today, man, I'm gonna be real. Like this is kind of hurt. This one is gonna be the last show for the foreseeable future. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to pause because it's taken a lot of thought. It's taken a lot of conversations and things like that to come to this point. But yeah, this is going to be the last show for, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be 6 months. I don't know if it's going to be 2 years. I don't know if it's going to be 15 years. But there's just, there's a lot that's going on in my life. And I'm choosing to put those other things first, man. And it's hard because anybody that's been on the show, anybody that's even seen the show, watched the show or anything like that, like, I love this. Like I love doing this, man, but I'm choosing some other things over this right now. Life is getting crazy in a good aspect. Like anybody that's watched the show for a little bit of time, Kev was on here. My boy Kev, man, rocking with me for like 70, 80 episodes, man, doing a new episode every week, no matter what, bro. Like we was rocking with it, and life for him, some things kind of came to fruition. He took a new job, man. He's killing it as a pastor out there, really pouring into the youth. And those kids like that. And if you guys don't know, man, he's him and his wife, they're expecting a kid in January. Man. So like a lot of life going on for him, but it's the same thing over here, man. And it sucks because like, I love doing this show. I love having the platform for other people to come and sit on, man. And I love being able to share like the knowledge that other people have with everybody that's listening to this. So it's a little sad, but I'm gonna keep it short because I don't want to cry. I wanted to do this, but I want to put together like 3 things that I can leave with you guys. So no matter how long this show's off, man, because it's gonna come back. I just don't know when. You can have these 3 little nuggets because, again, the show is all about helping dads be the best versions of themselves. And so if you don't listen to no other episodes, if you don't see nothing else, man, I want you to have these 3 things. And I wrote them down because, again, I said I don't want to cry, but I want to make sure I get them out there to you guys. And so you can kind of just marinate on those. But I'm not going anywhere. You guys know how to reach me on social media. You know where I'm at. If you got my number, call me. If you don't, well, send me a DM or something like that. But yeah, let's get into it, man. So the first thing that I wanted to leave you guys with is that your past doesn't define you. Like there's a lot of dads out there, man. Like you guys are going through it, like because of some things that you did in your past, man, and you're struggling with it. And I don't know if it's as simple for you as, bro, you always late. Like you've been late since you was, 16, and you late to everything. You tired of being late. Or it might be as complex as, bro, you got a porn addiction and it's starting to affect your marriage. Like that's a whole nother show in itself. But yeah, we just gonna leave it right there. But yeah, it could be simple or it could be complex. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that your past doesn't define who you are. And this show is like living, breathing testament to me that like you don't have to be that way because, for a lot of you guys, I don't know if we talked about this on the show or not, but my entire life, I've always been someone that starts something and stops something, starts and stops. And I know you guys sitting here listening like oh, he's stopping the podcast, but let me finish. And so when Kev and I first sat down at Chewy's, shout out to South Lake, we sat out at Chewy's and we kind of like laid out this podcast and what it was like. And I was like, I know me and I know I'm good for starting and stopping something. And I'm not going to do this show unless like you and I both commit that we're doing a new show every week for 52 weeks straight. 52, that's 1 year. And man, when we got to that point, I was like, bruh, like what's next, right? And so we started planning what's next, but I wanted to make sure that I was not defined by my past. Like I through my whole life, pee-wee football, like all types of sport, bro, relationships, like like starting and stopping things and just like getting away, like getting out of it. Like I know relationships are gonna end, but you don't know my story. So it was part of that starting and stopping, right? And I'm just here to tell you guys, man, whatever it is, bro, like whatever it is, dad, like you don't have to be that way, man. You can change. You just got to put forth the effort and really commit to it. So that's number one, man. So number two is make sure that your family is okay with whatever extracurricular activities that you're doing. As a dad, your family comes first. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, family. God, Jesus, family. So you want to make sure you make time for the Lord, but then you want to make sure that you're not putting your extracurricular activities above your family. Man, I don't know who it was, but when I graduated college, I got into the insurance game. I don't even know who this guy was, but I'll never forget the advice that he gave me. We were trying to plan like a little one-on-one get to know you, whatever, blase, blase. I'm 23, right out of college. Like, yeah, bro, like let's meet at like 6 or 7. And he looked at me, he's just like, yo, he's like, I don't do anything after 5 o'clock unless I check my wife and my kids' calendar. And I was like, oh, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I designed my life so that that time for them is not compromised. He's like, there is no meeting that's more important than checking them, than going to my daughter's recital, right? Or having a date night with my wife. Now, don't get me wrong, like you can reschedule things, right? But at the core of it, before you commit to anything, is your family okay? Are you making the necessary time? And that's how I live my life. Like you can ask some of my insurance clients. Like I don't care, bro, if you are writing me a $50,000 commission check. I don't. If you call me between after hours, between like 5 and 8 p.m. when my girls are still awake, I'm gonna tell you I gotta call you back. I'm gonna answer the phone. I'm gonna see what's good, and I'm gonna tell you, yo, like I'm with the family. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna check with my wife and my kids, like, hey, do you mind if I take this? And so I just want you guys out there, man, like really check with your family before you guys take on these extracurricular activities, because that's really how we get lost in it all. Like we get wrapped up in these activities, and then 15 years down the road, like we don't know our kids, we don't know our wife, and we wonder why, because we were putting everything before them and not really nurturing those relationships. So that's number two, y'all. So number one is your past doesn't define you. Number two is make sure your family is okay with your extracurricular activities. And the third one, guys, is go see a therapist. Go see a therapist. Men, listen, look, if you're not black, these next 30 seconds, they're not for you. Come back. I'm going to get you in a second. But listen, if you are a black man in America, you have trauma and you need to unpack it. If you are a black man in America, you have trauma and you need to unpack it. Now, that's not to say that a lot of us, like, I'm saying our brown brothers, our white brothers, and everybody else doesn't have trauma, but I'm just specifically speaking right now to us, right? You need to go see a therapist. Like there's some, I know for a fact, y'all, like I'm 100% sure there are things that I have not dealt with and I have hidden them deep down. And I have absolutely no idea how they affect and change my life right now. Like I'm aware of that. I don't know what those things are. And one of my plans is to go see a therapist. I used to see a therapist. I stopped, but I know I need to get back. And I'm just like, why aren't we doing that more? Like if we can do that, because listen, guys, if you're not dealing with what's going on, all you're going to do is keep on passing down whatever issues that your parents gave you. You're going to give them to your kids. And as much as you want to do and try to avoid them, like those things are still going to be there. Like shout out to my boy Tyler Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Go get the book. You know what I'm saying? The Ball came out. And he talked about it on the show. I don't remember what episode it was, but look at it. He's been on twice, but Tyler Campbell is my guy. He talked about like he couldn't write his book until he went to therapy and dealt with the 12-year-old Tyler that was still suffering and that just wanted to come out. Like he grew up in this very prestigious white area, and he was the only black kid, and his father is an NFL Hall of Famer, and there's a lot of pressure on him, and he just wanted to read comic books. He wasn't as gifted as his brother in sports. Like Tyler just wanted to be Tyler, and he couldn't write that book that is now on the bestsellers list on Amazon for like the last 12 weeks. He couldn't write that book, y'all, until he went to therapy and unpacked the things that he had going on, guys. So you cannot move forward. You're not going to be as great as you can be for you or for your family or for your job if you don't unpack those things, guys. So number one, your past does not define you. Number two is make sure your family is okay with the extracurricular activities that you're doing. And number three, go see a therapist. Like just go see a therapist, man. Like you can go to one session and be like, yo, I don't know why I'm here, but yeah, Josh told me to come. I need to come here and I got some stuff to unpack, bro. That's all you need, man. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys, man. I'm so thankful for you guys tuning in. This is episode 89. So whenever we come back, man, be on episode 90. We're going to kick it off. We're going to do a big shebang. I have no idea when that is, guys. I don't. Again, I don't know if it's 6 months. I don't know if it's 2 years from now. I don't know if it's 15 years. I don't know if it's 21 years from now, y'all. I don't know when we're going to get back on this show, man. But I'm so thankful and appreciative that you guys are even listening to me and to the things that I had to talk about and the guests that are on here. You guys are awesome. Take care. God bless. Like the podcast, share the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. Even though ain't nothing new coming out, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast just so that you know when it does come out. Until the next time we talk, man, God bless. Take care. I love you. Peace.